happen and trying to make things happen quickly. So I guess in that case, if they lose, at least they'll lose fast. And going up against the side of DCG, who have been able to stack 6 wins together without losses at all, that's going to be a tough ask. We'll see if Dewish can end their drought, but it will be difficult against one of our better squads here in the PCS. Deep Cross Gaming bringing out the Seraphine mid for Nesty. Nice flex pick for this squad. Kriskata on the Aphelios. Pretty comfortable position there. And surprise, surprise, Leaky taking the Wukong up top.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a treat to see the Wukong. Do expect sort of the Triforce builds to come out. Actually, he could go for the Divine Thunders in this matchup as well. Would work fine. And to round out DCG's side of the composition, I think this is pretty standard for what they like to run. It's a ton of engage coming in from both Nesty and their top laner Leaky, and you have that scaling potential in the bot lane. So very comfortable comp coming in from them. They love to start their drafts off with the Seraphine flex pick. You got all of that down. I will say that in the early phases, the mid jungle is a lot weaker than their opponent. You should expect Dewish team to be able to move around the map a little bit earlier. But as we said, scaling is definitely not on Dewish team's side. They need to snowball with this composition. So I would say everything is on Xiaotu and WSL, what they can get accomplished once they can.
Start the timers. We'll see if they can get it done. An interesting thing I do want to talk about a little bit is because the Samira is definitely a big reset champion, but how does this interact with the Aphelios guns? I know she can destroy missiles, but that's something I hadn't really thought about.
I think it should allow you to... I'm not exactly sure about how the Gravitum works with it. Like, will the Gravitum stun through the W? But I imagine it would be very difficult to stop. And, you know, as an Aphelios, you can probably wait out a lot of the timers on that one. So it's going to have to be a reactive stop. I think it should work.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Meanwhile, speaking of hard to stop, Lakunai actually already started getting damaged pretty heavily. It's a pretty defensive start on both sides, actually, as he turns some damage back towards Leaky. Doran shields across the board.
Leaky still with a sustained advantage right here. Finally pops the potion. And that's a lot of damage done. You can see that both junglers are heading into the top side. And WSL has been spotted out here, so... it looks like Hana is just going to go for a straight-up gank, while on the other end, Dewish team's jungler is not going to be there.
Oh, Lakunai is very low. This might be a flash burned at the least, and did not see that one coming into the stun. Gets the hop, flash forward. Hana can't quite finish him off. Nicely done to get the extra flash. Feels good.
Yeah, really nicely done on the slow. I believe that was the boomerang. So what he did there was he jumped and flashed over Hana, and then the boomerang still clipped him for the slow. So even with the stun and everything landing, Hana couldn't get the final auto attack off, even with the flash. That was actually very well played by Lakune.
Yeah, really nice to see. I think we were hoping to see a little bit more out of this player. So far, that's helped. Yeah, you got the flash burned, and we were expecting that, but the fact that they still got Hana's, is this Viego, when you don't have that Spectral Maw, you can't really do that much at range early on in this game, and now turnabout's fair play. WSL coming into the lane, but Leaky playing safe in this one. And we'll see if he gets punished. And he goes in, gets a little bit of free poke, but Lakunai kind of keeping him under fire.
Yeah, and they still haven't had this warded, so if Trundle runs into the Viego right now, Trundle should be very comfortable in taking this 1v1. But he is going with the scanner, so oh no, they just pass each other, and Lakune is...
Oh boy. Lakune's almost got a Narbar, though. I think he might be feeling himself. I don't know if he should, because that Nar, there we go, comes up with the smash, and that's going to be the end of it. So yeah. WSL not even required as the game stays fairly quiet, not for lack of trying. Nesty takes a bit of damage from Xiaotu. This is very important. Xiaotu needs to get ahead in this lane, and Nesty not typically known for winning mid lane in most engages.
You have to remember, Xiaotu actually had some very memorable LeBlanc performances in the prior splits where he was a mid laner. We haven't been seeing much of LeBlanc here, but it definitely could happen. We could just use the Nimbus right. He goes in again.
WSL is really waiting, buying his time. They're hoping to get the kill, not just the flash. And here he goes, flashes forward the Chomp. They're not fooled, forces his own flash. The pillar's up. Do they have the damage? They're just chomping him down, and they do. First blood, Dewish team.
really nicely done. The flash in to get the 99% slow. It's a very, very short duration slow, but it definitely does help you there. WSL, you know, not getting fooled by the Cyclone, walks him down. And I feel like he's just righting the wrongs that happened yesterday with all the shenanigans happening
Redeeming himself.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is his atonement game. The arc is coming through, Clement.
He's like, Lacuna, I'm sorry I messed up your lane so hard yesterday. Please take my offerings here.
I just imagine him just turning up the top lane with like a boombox, standing out there, being like, please forgive me. I'll gank your lane. Worked out this time. Got the kill and everything. So, you know, a good start for Dewish team. They need it, but they got it.
Yeah, and now that we have that lead coming in from the jungler, WSL coming back with a Sheen lead over Hana, I want to see him start to free up Xiaotu. We've seen Xiaotu in his own lane. You know, he's going for the wave clear build right here. Does have the boots of Ionia, and does help him move across the map this early with the boots too. So that should really be the point of focus. You know, it's certainly possible that Xiaotu could just get the job done himself, but with WSL's lead here as well, I really think their bot lane is completely unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a good start. Also, yeah, the boots pick up early does mean the roaming can happen. Dewish team do have priority. It's in full vision of the control ward on the dragon, but can't really be stopped. And again, they need to do it. They're starting it. Hana is going to take the incentive to do a bit of counter jungling as he has been getting better farm, but WSL has that kill to work with too. So dragon stacking started, 1 kill up. Bot lane hasn't really struggled, but Dewish team are ticking the boxes.
Oh boy, this is the best look Dewish team has ever seen for their early game. You know, there's no bot lane mishaps. They managed to pass the blue buff correctly. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but they've also failed that a couple times this split already. And, you know, the jungler is actually normal. He's behind, but he's actually, you know, pathing quite normally and ganking normally. So DCG on average has been behind by 5,000 gold at 15. I feel like if they can change that trend, we finally get to see what a Dewish team mid-game could look like.
Yeah, we're starting to have some vertical jungling as well. WSL moving in for the red buff on the deep cross side. I agree. I think if we can get this team to a healthy mid-game, starting to feel pretty good. It's a slim gold lead at the moment, though, just off the back of First Blood. And all eyes are going to be on Xiaotu. If he can get a roam out, get the kills, if he can get a solo onto Nesty, who is playing it safely, sitting on Ghost Flash as well with the Unsealed Spellbook.
There's a lot of opportunities to abuse this. I think if you look at the map here, Xiaotu is still super dominant in his own lane. You got the tier build coming in from Nesty, so that one's going to be a very slow burner. I really just want to see them force the bottom lane a little bit more. Once you push Nesty in, you kind of dash towards the bottom lane. Everyone on DCG has to gravitate towards the bottom lane, and then you're just free to take Herald. I feel like that is a very standard play that Dewish team could look for, or they could just simply transition and start up the topside play here, but they have to be aware DCG is actually here first.
Yeah, Xiaotu does actually get stunned as he tries to push his luck a bit. Spectral Mott point blank catches him, but he gets out. Dewish team a little bit slow. They do find Deep Cross there, who muscle their way in to start off on this Rift Herald, and actually just seem control of it. This is a little bit odd. Maybe they're going to try and turn now. Narbar's not quite up for Lakunai, but he's dancing, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging around, and got a good old 5v5 at the Herald. Done up. There's the engage. Once again, they actually find a little bit of damage from the backside, but Nesty is safe. Bang 2 opens up with a kill into Hana, and it's WSL. The rest of the team steal the Herald. Lakunai with a massive Gnar. Double kill from Bang 2. They're doing it.
Oh man, Dewish team, they found the first Herald. This is so incredible. I just want to say, before this, they have never been able to take first Herald, and now they're taking first blood, first Herald, and first Drake at the same time.
All split?
Yeah, that's that's the first Herald, all split long. So massive.
It was a good setup for the fight. Not to mention, they get 2 kills for Bang 2 off the back of that. Another kill for WSL. Yes, they lose one to Nesty, but that's not necessarily the power pick, right? Let's take a look at that fight again, because it's really up in the air, but Deep Cross, they just get caught with their pants down.
Yeah, I feel like Hana just gets caught with no easy way of retreat. That was a great killer, section off the enemy team there. They manage to take off the jungler and the front line right at the start, and then the back line's just completely open for Lacune to go in. He gets the 3-man slam, so just beautiful stuff by WSL. I felt like that pillar was really the defining moment right there, because it forced Hana to use the ultimate very early on in the fight. You know, there's no reset potential coming in from him. Huge loss of power. And then Leaky also gets caught on the other side trying to save his jungle. And then you see the backline of DCG just unable to really contribute in the fight.
I don't know where this Dewish team has been hiding, but clearly they've come to play today, Clement. This is better coordination than I think we've ever seen from this team, and that includes their different iterations, different ownership, different names. This is starting to look like a much better squad here in the PCS. It's very early, 10 minutes on the clock, but a healthy 1.8k gold lead, kills on your carries. Maybe not on Zhao, but it doesn't matter. He's still setting the plays up, and this team is doing well.
Yeah, they're absolutely massive at this point, and you know, they could run the play I was mentioning all this time around. You would just drop the Herald, go bottom. There's tremendous pressure that's going to happen there. And you also have the Drake coming up in 30 seconds, so I think that's going to be the next play. They just want to fourth mid. Xiaotu has already have wave priority, and it should be a fairly easy dragon take. I don't even see DCG really trying to contest this one.
They might try to force it up, though. They do bring the 3-man squad into the lane, and that actually means Dewish team are going to back off as they tried to sandwich on. We're afraid of getting flanked themselves. WSL walks up. They see the ward clears going through, and he's a big trundle right now. Does have a pretty early complete on the Divine Sunder. It's got to feel good when you take that champion. You have a big impact early. That does open up the dragon take for Dewish.
Yeah, and they can't even respond to this one properly. They have to back out. You can see Xiaotu just trying to get some extra gold here in the mid lane while they're doing it, forcing out Hana, so...
Careful. All right, they do get the Herald charge. Meanwhile, Lacune, he's going down. Leaky gets the 1v1. Don't know how that one started, but a little bit of a scuffed series of events there does mean that Deep Cross get a bit of gold back for themselves.
Yeah, it was a massive outtrade there. I'm really curious at what happened, because Lacune was actually running towards the wrong side of the map. He was going through the enemy tower at that point, so I feel like he must have pushed his lane and then just got brush ganked by Luki, who just comes out with the Cyclone, does a bunch of damage. There should be no real way that he gets out-traded this hard earlier on. We'll see how this happens. Oh, he gets caught just as he's about to turn mini. Wow! That timing from Leaky was so on point.
That was actually insane. What a play. And Leaky making up for earlier for sure. That is going to be the second kill for Deep Cross this game. Now we're starting to see some of the item buys come through. Gale Force picked up for Kriskata, who's had a very quiet game in lane. You talked about how Enhouse's job is to just keep Bang 2 alive. I think mission successful for the most part.
Yep. Definitely has been. You can see the Eclipse going through for Bang 2 here. And yeah, I'm just so surprised about that top side. The top side was just absolutely amazing.
Oh, the max range hook! Nesty's gonna go golden, but I think they've caught him right here. Pillar to the side, he gets pinballed around, and Xiaotu is on the board.
Oh, the snowball is about to begin. We talked about Dewish team, you know, usually down 5,000 gold and needing 2 ganks early on. I think they far exceeded my expectations, and now all the pressure is on DCG. If you look at the 80 carry builds right here, it's the triple crit item build versus the lethality build coming out from Bang 2. So this is... it's going to take a long time for DCG to actually be useful here. And by that time, I feel like Hana is going to be a non-factor. He's been put so far behind at this point that you don't really see the Viego become a damage threat. He's almost relegated to a reset bot. He needs someone else to somehow find that first kill for him.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tough. And I think Deep Cross, you know they have the scaling on their side, but I don't think they were expecting this all-out offensive. Is it too bold to say this is the best Dewish team look we've seen thus far?
Oh, absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind that this Dewish team performance so far is the best we've seen all split and all for their organization. So far, they're still 0-8, as you can see on the top right corner. And I don't think I've seen an early game from them that hasn't been absolutely disastrous. So, massive improvements. I also want to correct myself a little bit here as... please don't die. Okay, they're very good. The bot lane build, Yeah, I think it should still be the Executioner instead of the Eclipse. Sorry, I just got kind of missed the noon quiver ring.
Oh boy, WSL. He does find Leaky, but they can't quite close him on the Cyclone, and they're going to go in for round 2 right now. He gets that second one. Here we go. The chain's on. I think they're going to be able to get something out of Leaky. Get a little baited out. Doesn't matter. WSL takes a bite out of him, and here comes the rest. The Deep Cross Gaming for the second win effort. 3v3 up towards the top side. Meanwhile, they get the turret down mid. Anyways, the Samira just managing to fire away at towers. Deep Cross don't get anything for their trouble.
Nobody expects the second gank coming out here. DWT, they are in position a little bit earlier. They moved everyone there. And they should be able to take this Herald down without much resistance here.
They're trying, though. That's a really good encore, but here comes the big Gnar. They don't really find the ult that they were looking for, but still, they dissuade the pressure. WSL zoned out of the fight, but Jiaotu's already taking down Woody. Criscata, he's losing his front line. The Inferno trigger does so much damage, and you see the follow-through. Jiaotu with the double now, and Hana just cut off from the rest of the team as Deep Cross in shambles lose out on that fight.
It was a bit of a dicey start right there. We saw the hook onto the wall from Enhao, and I thought, ooh, that looks like a free support. But Lakune comes in and saves the situation. He gets the knockback that takes Woody into the team. Woody was devouring someone at that point, so it essentially takes the fight from a 5v5, a pitch battle fight where a Dewish team have to fight over this ramp, until a situation where two of the side of Deep Cross are now deep within the enemy formation with absolutely no hope. So we'll watch this again. Kind of a scuffed start from Enhao. We'll watch this from Lakune. Isolates the front line in Woody and Hana. Those two can't protect the back line. And then Bang2 just flies in to finish off the kill here on Criscata. You know, Criscata's still looking for that 3 crit item spike. He's not going to get there anytime soon. Just completely falls down, and wow, Dewish team able to just go in with confidence and decisiveness.
Yeah, 17 minutes on the clock. They've got a very healthy advantage. 5,000 gold. The Dragon stack is going. It is going to be a Cloud Rift, and they will go in for a little bit more damage. Jiaotu pokes in, pokes out, does take a little bit more than he was able to give, but look at the summoner spells. Cooldowns just not there really for Deep Cross, and even really for Dewish, but that does favor this team right now. As they start off, they're going to get the stun onto Enhao. He's trying to hold the front line. There's going to be the Seraphine ultimate into the back. Jiaotu distracting again. They get a little bit out of Leaky, and ST does take the support down, but they will immediately follow back onto Hana. My goodness, they're just trying to keep him in this one. It's 1-for-1 traded so far. Dragon's going to reset, but Dewish are not done just yet. Hanging on to that Inferno trigger if they want it from Bang2. And getting that Honey Fruit to heal up here. Deep Cross, they are not going to go quietly into the night, but these fights are way too close for comfort.
We have the Drake reset, so they're going in again. Lakune,
there's the Gnar, they get it, not into the wall, but they got the damage. Leaky's out of this one. They take Criscata away, and that's going to be the ultimate from Bang2. They don't need the Dragon just yet, Clement. They can just move for the fights.
DCG just don't have the damage to shut down Bang2, and Bang2's got that quick finger reaction to deny the Encore ultimate from Nesty. Beautiful move right there. He just completely cancels the ultimate effect onto the back line, and Dewish team are able to move forward from that point. So I really feel like DCG, they're kind of losing their composure at this point. I don't really see the secondary engage being that possible for them, and Lakune just able to get a good smash down onto the bot lane. Once again, Criscata doesn't have a front line at this point to protect him. The front line cannot survive the damage, and they don't have anyone to shut down Bang2, who now is 4-1 and 3. 3,000 damage in that team fight alone.
Yeah, and not only that, Jiaotu's been able to stack the kills. He stayed safe enough because obviously not going to be threatened by a Seraphine lane. And he's got himself a Medjai's with 14 stacks. Like, Jiaotu's feeling himself, and how often do we get to say that?
Yeah, I would never have imagined Deep Cross Gaming's 6-game win streak to possibly be ending on the hands of Dewish team. I was looking forward on the day, but last day of round robin always brings you some surprises here. Where you can see Dewish team now with the full run of the map, and they could have a potential for a Cloud Soul early on in the game. You know, it's a 23-minute Cloud Soul. That's absolutely massive with just the movement speed and the amount of advantages that Dewish team have right now.
Deep Cross are just going to have to huddle up and hope against hope that they can find a miracle fight. And they do have the coordination to do it, but man, what a ridiculous game that Dewish have brought to bear. Like, forget everything you know about this team, because they found a strategy. They played it incredibly well. I want to give huge ups to WSL because he did what he needed in this game early on, and everybody else just survived long enough to make the plays, to rotate well, to be relevant. And this is some really coordinated gameplay. They've clearly been working on it.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like the most important thing for WSL in the early game is
find a miss. Woody does flash away for the Gnar ultimate. Not too bad, yeah. Let's talk about that early game.
Oh, WSL, I feel like focusing top lane was definitely the right idea here. If you look at the rest of the members from DCG, their bottom side 4-man cannot take a fight. There's no tank right there. They have a lot of squishies that need time to scale up. You have a tier build coming in from Nesty. So the bottom side 4-man cannot stand up to any of the Drake fights. They can't take skirmishes. So if you just take down Leaky, the main frontline tank and the main initiation, then DCG just don't have any agency on the map. Dewish team, I feel like, did the right strategy here. Just shut down Leaky, make sure there is no initiation, and you just get to run across DCG with no opposition.
Yeah, I think Deep Cross's draft definitely didn't do them any favors towards the end there with the swap up onto the Wukong instead of something maybe a little bit more on the tanky side we would like to see from Leaky. But Dewish team take full advantage. Really good play early on. WSL the focus there. I think Xiaotu had a quiet start. We were wondering when he was going to get involved, and then all hell broke loose, and Bang 2 on this Samira has just looked so good. He just holds the Inferno trigger for when it's cleanup duty and just gets into the back line, and it's bullet hell. You gotta love it.
And right now there is only one source of healing reduction here, and that's the Ignite from Woody. That's really not enough to keep this going. We need some sort of a Kenpunk chainsaw coming out from, I think most likely from Wukong here, to kind of cut down the healing, or else Bang 2 is just, you can't deal with him. And on the flip side, I don't think DCG have a lot of catch potential. Their composition, maybe Wukong can surprise someone, but doesn't really have the instant burst to kill anyone on Dewish team right now. So it's a very awkward position. They have to take team fights, but nobody can actually kill Bang 2.
It is a really slippery comp on Dewish, right? Like, you think about it, like LeBlanc obviously is one of those champions that, especially in the durability meta, you got to be careful about because she doesn't get fed, she doesn't really do enough, but she's also hard to kill. The Samira's pretty well protected. WSL has a speed boost for himself. Lakunai and Mininar can get away. Like, I feel like if anything, they just sacrifice Enhao, and that's like the loss being cut. It's actually a really good strategy.
Yeah, the only way I see DCG winning in the next couple of team fights is if they somehow just catch out Bang 2 first. Like, that has to be the win condition. It's definitely very difficult to do. Maybe they need to wait for the grab him or some sort of a flank coming in from Leaky. And it's most likely going to involve some sort of a lane give up as well. They have to just shrug off one of these lanes, admit that they can't hold all terrain right now on their side of the map, and just try to go for a group up and a surprise on Dewish. I will say...
Free soul.
Oh, yeah, there's not even a contest here.
Wow. That's how you know things have gone bad, if you just give that up without contesting.
This does feel a lot like the Belvet game we saw earlier from DCG.
Oh boy. Yeah, but that one won.
True, so I'm just mentioning
Belvet
DCG,
so far.
they do have some comeback potential.
That's true. That's very true. Like especially, the way things have been played on 12.12, right? Like, games can just come down to a 30-minute fight and it's over. But this is a big lead for Dewish team, and they've got the soul, they've got the map control, and I mean the X factor is they're just playing well. They're playing coordinated. We don't usually see this. In fact, I don't think we ever see this.
No,
Who are these guys?
I don't know what happened to Dewish team. I would love to get an interview if we have that, or some sort of an insight into Dewish team, but this doesn't look like the Dewish team I know so far.
Ooh, absolutely not. This is whatever they've been working on. It's certainly been working. And even as recent as yesterday, I think it looked quite different. Xiaotu jumps in, does get insta-charmed and popped.
Goodbye.
Oh boy, now that's going to be the turn for Deep Cross. They find themselves with a number advantage. Xiaotu went a little too deep in enemy territory off the back of WSL's face check. Kunai does have a Mega Gnar soon, but DCG have the numbers advantage, and objective bounties are here. They're going to look for an opener. WSL trying to flank around the side. They will find one guard. Friscata swallowed up by Woody. Clutch save from the support. And that will be the end of that push.
Oh, Woody not even having to use his flash just to save that one. Kind of a weird move by Xiaotu. They had such good positioning around Baron. I don't feel like Xiaotu needed to go in there. He definitely was caught off guard by Nested, who just promptly drops the Encore on the entire side of the left mid lane right there. Catches him out with the hard crowd control. They just bop him. So, Dewish team actually wastes a couple of minutes here. And I still want to mention, when it comes to the very late game, I still like DCG's composition a little bit better. There's a lot of melee elements on Dewish team, and you don't really want to run into an Aphelios. That's always kind of a scary proposition. He has tons of protection. He's running basically with 2 supports, and you have that hard crowd control in the front line with Wukong. So if I'm Dewish team, I'm still looking to end this one early, and I want to point out the gold lead isn't that big. Sure, there's a Dragon Soul, but it's still a 4K game.
And it's now going to be the Baron start. Xiaotu actually trying to bait in mid. I think they know something's up. Now they do for sure as they pop the blue trinket. This one's not going down as fast as Dewish team would have liked. It's a deep cross. They're going to try to muscle in. Will this come down to the 50-50 smite? The Baron flip. Hana looking for an opener. Enho does not find what he was looking for. And oh my goodness, they negate the Nesty ultimate with Samira and instantly bop them into the wall. And an Inferno trigger. This is going to be massive. WSL claims the first kill of that fight as they take Leaky out of it. Woody soon to fall. Could have been worse for Deep Cross in terms of numbers lost, but that was a massive fight for Dewish.
Lacune, how does he keep on getting these 3-mans over and over again? And how please do not die here. Don't give this one up.
They're not done yet. Oh, Xiaotu! Oh no! He gets bopped by Criscata on the back. He really greeted for that one.
Yeah, went in too deep there. Criscata didn't even have to use the exhaust to survive that. So, ooh, big loss here. And Xiaotu officially has sold his Medjais. 0 stacks now.
That's the shame refund you go for. Like, all right, can I get this? Can I sell this back at a discount? It's not good for me anymore. Sorry, I broke it.
Ooh, Dewish team.
Oh, well.
I feel like they're throwing away a lot of these leads. That was such a good team fight coming in from Lacune. They definitely could have just turned around for the Baron right there.
Look at the Blade Whirl here. He completely stops the Seraphine ultimate. Oh my word.
Absolutely great stuff. And then Lacune with the flash, and he gets the 3-man in the back again. To be fair, D-Cross do keep Criscata out of this, but they still lose their entire front line in the meantime. I felt like this was a pretty good signal to just go for the Baron there. You know, Hana was super low HP. Criscata still had his thumbs up, but he was pretty much the only one. It would be an easy turnaround, and they did try to contest. Dewish team definitely overstepping a little bit.
I think Xiaotu needs to rein it in. He's been feeling really good about himself, and he's made a couple of cheeky hints. What I'll say as the Moonlight Vigil does come down, retreat past, and there's Hana. Good Heartbreak. That's a pretty big cooldown burned. And now the turn is for the Baron. That's the good control. You don't need to kill because you know they're not going to be able to have the fight turn.
Yeah, I think this is exactly how you want to play it. You know, you burn away so many abilities here. Nesty also doesn't have to flash for this fight, so he could be another target. Let's look at where Xiaotu has been. I think that's all has been the difference maker in these couple of fights. The angle which he decides to go with.
Teleport started here for Leaky, the Baron. I think this is enough to spook Dewish team. They get the cooldown. WSL is going to be off that with half his hit points. That's the thing about this Dewish comp. They're not the fastest Baron takers.
Yeah, they don't really have any of that % HP damage on their composition, and this is always the scariest part in the game. I feel like DCG, with that bounty very close to 3 item, you talked about Aphelios as a hyper carry, and now they have a chance to flip everything just at this Elder. It's coming up in 20 seconds. DCG are going to stay around to take control of the area.
You can see him looking for death brushes. Criscata will hold the line here as well. Xiaotu looking for an isolated target, not going to be able to find it. Already taken down, chunked. That's the retreat. They don't have Lacune with him. He has teleport if needed, but he's not with the team just yet. There we go. Expends it. Full vision, though, I believe, or just passed as it's in the lane. The Narbar's up.
This is not good terrain for DWT. It's way too open. They would like to play somewhere where Nar can get an easier wall bash here.
He's got it on red now. I think Deep Cross have managed to wait this out. It's all about the patience. They need to set up a death brush. He looks for the big Gnar, doesn't find it. Leaky's there, but it's not him. It's going to be the flash away. They turn, try to cut off on a couple different angles. That's going to be a massive ultimate out of Nesty as he finds the Encore. Enhao absorbing so much damage, finally taken out of this by Hana, who turns into him, looking for a knockup, but Zhao2 takes him out of the fight. It now turns into a 4v4, and Dewish team of the inside track, but Zhao2 low. Here's the turn, Cruscata. Starting to dish the damage, starting to hurt, but there's no smite, and there is no Wukong, as it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Dewish team are the team that backs away.
Yeah, Dewish team have lost all potential to do a re-engage here. They are losing the Mega Gnar bar. I'm not sure about this one. This one's really risky, and DCG are incredibly healthy. Even though they are down one member here, they could definitely take this 3v4.
Trying to build that Gnar bar up. Here's Lacuna. It's going to be big. He does not have the ultimate, though, and the team should know that. He's just going to throw out the boulder. This will be the smite down. They can't really contest it. There we go. It gets secured by Bang 2. Ooh, that felt close for comfort.
Yeah, incredibly close one right there. DCG, they were also lacking their ultimates. It was definitely a hairy situation, but I think, you know, I got a little bit too nervous. Dewish team definitely made the right call, just going back with the extra smite and the extra personnel there to take down the Elder.
Yeah, so now the attention shifts over to the Baron. All the objectives, all the neutrals this game have gone the way of Dewish team, but Deep Cross are going to be hoping to win it on this next. Gold lead starting to swing a little bit back into the favor, but that's the 3-item Aphelios. It's in. Will it be enough to turn the tides of battle? Deep Cross have found a few weak points in the armor of Dewish team.
And so far, I love Bang 2's positioning in these fights. In the last one, he was able to sidestep the Encore once again, and he's just hanging out on the side. For the other members, Zhao2...
Talk about positioning. Yeah, that one's a bit of an oopsie. He's forced to burn flash and then distort away. Mega Gnar comes up. This is going to be the start, though. They were actually just fainting this entire time, Clement. The Baron, they needed to seed the ground for this, and they will be able to secure it. Deep Cross knows they can't contest.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, DCG weren't going to hard contest that one anyway, just because of the Elder Dragon. And, you know, Zhao2 has burned both the Zhonya's and the Flash, so this could be something that DCG are very reminiscent of. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the way Zhao2 has been approaching a lot of these angles. I feel like he's just coming in from absolutely just, you know, in the middle of the lane, like where everyone can see him from.
He's borderline running it down, and as long as he stays alive, I think he's a threat. The problem is he does keep getting himself caught, and now he doesn't have the Zhonya's up. But the siege is here. Look at how much damage they dish to these turrets, and they will be able to open up the first. It's Leaky that actually was trying for a split push effort, but he's going to be losing out compared to Dewish team. That's first inhib fired down.
Taking a look at the Elder Dragon here, it's about to run down, about a sixth of it still there.
Trying to push for Nexus turrets. Narbar's up for Lacuna. This might come down to a 5v5 at base. Look at the damage they do, and looking for the Gnar. They managed to find it against the Nexus. Zhao2 opens up. Leaky's taken out. They maybe charm Bang 2, but he stays alive long enough for the Nexus to be laid bare. And Dewish team are winless no longer.
Congratulations to Dewish team. What an amazing